What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be giving you guys a brief introduction about JavaScript. JavaScript is a scripting language developed by Netscape used to provide dynamic and interactive content on web pages. It is one of the first scripting languages in existence, and today is the most popular scripting language on the web. JavaScript works in all modern web browsers, including Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer. Note that JavaScript and Java are two separate languages. Within the JavaScript itself, there are many functions, and they go under 4 different fields, being dynamic, functional, prototype-based, and miscellaneous. Note that JavaScript supports much of the structured programming syntax from C. Firstly, within the dynamic field, one of the features is dynamic typing. As in most scripting languages, types are associated with values, not variables. For example, a variable x could be bound to a number, then later rebound to a string. JavaScript supports various ways to test the type of an object, including duck typing. JavaScript is almost entirely object-based. This is one of its other features. JavaScript objects are associative arrays, augmented with prototypes. JavaScript also has a small number of built-in objects such as function and date. Another feature is runtime evaluation. JavaScript includes an eval function that can execute statements provided as strings at runtime. Onto the different field of functional. Some of the features within this field are first-class functions. The functions in JavaScript are first-class. They are objects themselves. As such, they have properties and methods such as length and call, and can be assigned to variables passed as arguments returned by other functions and manipulated like any other object. Any reference to the function allows it to be invoked using the parentheses operator or bracket operator. Another feature is nested functions and closures. Inner or nested functions are functions defined with another function. They are created each time the outer function is invoked. In addition to that, each created function forms a lexical closure, a lexical scope of the outer function, including any constants, local variables, and argument values, become part of the internal state of each inner function object, even after execution of the outer function concludes. Another field, moving on, is prototype-based. So within this field, one of the features is prototypes. So JavaScript uses prototypes instead of classes for inheritance. It is possible to simulate many class-based features with prototypes in JavaScript. Another feature is functions as object constructors. Functions double as object constructors along with their typical role. Prefixing a function call with new creates a new object and calls that function with its local this keyword bound to that object for that invocation. The constructor's prototype properly determines the objects used for the new object's internal prototype. JavaScript's built-in constructors such as array also have prototypes that can be modified. Functions as methods is also another feature of this field. Unlike many object-oriented languages, there is no distinction between a function definition and a method definition. Rather, the distinction occurs during function calling. A function can be called as a method. When a function is called as a method of an object, the function's local this keyword is bound to that object for the invocation. Moving on to the next field of miscellaneous. One of the features of this field is runtime environment. JavaScript typically relies on a runtime environment, for example in a web browser, to provide objects and methods by which the scripts can interact with the outside world. In fact, it relies on the environment to provide the ability to include or import scripts. Another feature is variadic functions. Pretty much, this is an indefinite number of parameters can be passed to a function. The functions can access them through formal parameters and also through the local arguments objects. Another feature is an array and object literals. Like many scripting languages, arrays and objects can be created with a succinct short syntax. In fact, these literals form the basis of the JSON data format. And lastly, one of the final features of JavaScript in the miscellaneous field is regular expressions. JavaScript also supports regular expressions in a manner similar to Perl, which provide a concise and powerful syntax for text manipulation that is more sophisticated than the built-in string